citizens must be present, as should Europeans. Let's listen in.
Sur la rencontre entre le président Trump et le président Poutine, je pense que c'est une très bonne chose que les présidents puissent se rencontrer pour discuter de leur agenda bilatéral. À partir du moment où ils discuteraient de sort de l'Ukraine, les Ukrainiens devraient être autour de la table. À partir du moment où ils devraient discuter de ce qui impacte la sécurité des Européens, les Européens devraient être autour de la table. Nous continuons d'avancer. La seule paix qui peut exister, c'est une paix robuste, durable, qui permet de répondre aux exigences du droit international et qui crée les conditions de sa stabilité.
Meanwhile, Hungary's foreign minister, Peter Szijjártó, has said that European politicians are not interested in whether a US-Russia summit in Budapest could help secure a peace agreement in Ukraine. He has made these comments following a European Foreign Affairs Council meeting in Luxembourg. Let's listen in.
Az európaiak nem arra helyezik a fókuszt, és nem is érdekeltek abban, hogy a budapesti békecsúcs találkozó valóban békét hozzon, és én a mai felszólalásokból arra kell, hogy következtessek, hogy az európai politikusok egy jelentős része nagyon sok mindent, sőt tőlük mindent telhetőt meg fognak tenni annak érdekében, hogy megakadályozzák eleve ennek a csúcstalálkozónak a létrejöttét. Ahelyett, hogy örülnének, hogy újabb amerikai-orosz csúcs lesz, ahelyett, hogy örülnének annak, hogy egy újabb nagy lépést lehet tenni a béke irányába, mindehelyett az európai politikusok továbbra is a háború folytatását és meghosszabbítását támogatják.
Now we go back to our guest discussion with Julia Kazdobina. She's a senior fellow at Ukrainian Prism, joins us live from Krakow. Thank you very much, Julia, for staying with us. Julia, what are the consequences of these, differing European and U.S. priorities? As we saw yesterday, we saw Lithuanian, I think it was president or a minister talk about their opinion, and then today we see Hungary and yesterday we also saw Belarus voice their opinion or to try to mediate between Russia and Ukraine. How do you think this all is affecting this conflict?
I mean, when we talk about Belarus, I think it's clear that Belarus is a Russian ally in this war. Because Belarusian territory was used in the beginning of the war to launch the attack on Ukraine. And although Lukashenko claims that he was not aware that Putin was going to do this, but in his rhetoric, he has always been supportive of Putin and critical of Ukraine. So he clearly is, and also a lot of ammunition that was stored in Belarus from the Soviet times, it was transported to Russia and used in this war. So Belarus has supported Russia in the war. So when we talk about Hungary and the position of Hungary, I mean, we need to understand that Viktor Orban, he's the president of Hungary, right? So he is now facing a re-election, and he's losing popularity, and he's built his politics on anti-Ukrainian rhetoric and anti-European rhetoric. So I would see this position of Hungary as a continuation of that policy. And so it's of course for Europe as a European Union, as an entity that has unanimous decision making, it's very difficult, it's very needle to thread how to deal with Hungary, because it's ruining the unity and makes it very difficult for European Union to conduct a concerted policy. And of course, the key question is whether or not this war can be stopped by negotiations. And although people like Orban claim that there should be negotiations and this is the way to end the war, so far, I mean, starting from the very first days of the war, which was more than 11 years ago, and when Ukraine attempted to negotiate with Russia and achieve some sort of a reasonable solution, it never happened. Russia used different ploys to pretend that it's not a party to the conflict and that it's Ukraine that who's the aggressor and things like that. And so it's complicating things quite a bit. But Ukraine's position is clear that Europeans who were involved in negotiations with Russia during the Minsk phase negotiations and also were informed about what was happening in the negotiations process after the start of the full-scale invasion. They have now experienced enough of Russian attitudes and Russian behaviors to understand that this could not be resolved without actually building a deterrent. So talking is not going to help it.
Thank you very much, Julia, for sharing that insight and just staying with us throughout this topic. And we stay in this topic. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas has strongly condemned any efforts to pressure Ukraine into giving up territory to Russia. Speaking after meeting of EU foreign ministers in Luxembourg, Kallas has emphasized that it was wrong to place the burden on Ukraine to end the war. Let's listen into what she has said.
What we must not forget is that Russia is the aggressor and Ukraine is the victim here. So putting the pressure on Ukraine as the victim is not the right approach. And not only for Ukraine, but also for European security and the global security. Because if aggression pays off, it serves as an invitation to use it elsewhere as well.
U.S. chess grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky has passed away at the age of 29. His family has announced his unexpected passing yesterday through the Charlotte Chess Center. However, no cause of death has been announced. Naroditsky was a highly regarded player, commentator, as well as educator. His passing prompted tributes from the U.S. and international chess federations, as well as professional players worldwide. Naroditsky was celebrated for his insight, passion, and dedication to the game. He first gained international recognition in 2007 after winning the Under-12 Boys World Youth Championship in Turkey. Naroditsky graduated from Stanford University and later coached in Charlotte, North Carolina. Simultaneously, he built a large online following through YouTube and Twitch, where his streams and tutorials attracted hundreds of thousands of fans. That's all we have time for. Keep watching NewsX World for more news updates from around the world.